Hi, and welcome to the Stockscores Market Minutes for August 15th, 2014. Many investors will make their trading decisions based on the facts that they know. The reality in the stock market is that the facts really don't matter because markets move on the perception of facts. Now, perceptions are subject to emotion. You know, a company with a great fundamental story may not get attention from the market and may not get the valuation it deserves if the emotion around that sector or the market in general is negative. Many decisions are based on what the market perceives, and perception is shaped by people's mood. Now, the best trades come when perceptions change. If the market for energy stocks is weak, but then that suddenly changes because oil prices start to go up and because there's a general outlook for a better oil market in the future, what will happen is those companies that are fundamentally undervalued will very quickly trade where they deserve to be because the perceptions have changed. Now, the key takeaway from all this is that you do not want to own stocks where you are fighting against negative perceptions. Even if the facts are great, wait for the market's opinion to start to shift, because that is when you will be rewarded by buying stocks that have good facts and good perceptions. All right, let's get into the market analysis for this week. We've had a pretty good rally comeback this week, bouncing off of the upward trend line. The question now is whether the market will make a falling top. In other words, you know, if this week's close is more or less the high, and then we start to roll over and go back down toward that upward trend line in green, we could get a breakdown in the market, and that is seasonally what is likely to happen. But certainly until the trend line is broken, until that green line is broken, I don't want to be too bearish, but I do think that we deserve to have some caution in the market right now. You can see that the Stockscores indicators, the green and blue lines there, they've fallen down below the 60 mark, and that also makes me want to be a little bit cautious about where the market is headed. TSX is still well above its upward trend line, and with oil prices continuing to slip, I think we could see more money come out of the energy sector, and that could bring the TSX 60 closer to that upward trend line. So it's encouraging that this week we closed above the open, but I think that there is still some potential for more selling pressure in the TSX 60, and quite reasonable given the time of year and given the gains that the TSX has made so far this year. TSX Venture is stable. That's a good thing. It just doesn't yet have the buyers coming in, and to be expected. This is August. I don't expect that we'll see a pickup in action in the TSX Venture until the fall at a minimum, and possibly even later. So for now, I would say neutral on the TSX Venture, but there are signs that we at least have a condition where this market can start to do well again. Treasuries had a real strong week this week as tensions in the Ukraine caused people to want to rush into treasuries, and really bonds globally, country bonds have had a good week this week, and that really points to lower interest rates, which is good for consumers. And so I think this is a positive for the market overall because it does make borrowing costs a lot lower. US dollar has rallied for the last 5 or 6 weeks, coming into resistance now. I expect to get stuck. We could see one more strong week. It's not quite at resistance yet, but it feels like the US dollar is probably topping out in the next little while here, and going to continue in that sideways trading range. Gold market in a pennant pattern. It's a pennant because the bottoms are rising. I've highlighted that in green. The tops are falling. I've highlighted that in red. And given that the trend into the pennant is down, this is a slightly negative pennant. Now, on the plus side, if we were to look at a monthly chart going back 10 years, you would see that the gold market is right at long-term support as well. So my sense is that the neutrality on gold that we're seeing, it's stable now, that actually helps many of the gold miners stocks. You know, the ones that are well run, the ones that have lowered their costs, you're seeing these gold stocks do well. So even though gold isn't necessarily looking like it's going to go up, there is opportunity in the gold mining stocks because at least investors have a sense that there's some stability in gold prices. So there's the oil chart that I spoke about, and I think that we've got another week or two of downside until we get to that green upward trend line, at which point expect oil to bounce and perhaps cruise back up toward the red line of resistance. Finally, fear has pulled back a lot this week, and seasonality wise, I'm still thinking that we could see a rally back in this, but the pullback this week was greater than I'm comfortable with. If it had pulled back half of the recent gains, it went from say 27 to 35. That's an $8 move. If it had pulled back from 35 to 31 and then bounced, I would have felt like the VIX could continue higher. The fact that it's pulled back all the way to 28 makes me a little bit feeling like there's not going to be a major market correction here, but we'll keep a close eye on this chart because, of course, we do have things going on politically in the world that can drive the VIX higher, and that's one of those random things that's a little bit hard to predict. So bullish long-term on U.S. stocks, neutral in the short term. I do see that we're still not out of the woods on some of that profit taking that we've seen recently. Same sort of thing in the Canadian market. Neutral long and medium or long and short term on gold, but as I said, there are opportunities in the individual gold mining stocks, and neutral on oil long term, but bearish in the short term. I think we've got a little bit more downside until we get to that support area. So there is that risk of a seasonal pullback in equities that remains, but the downside potential is not looking to be all that considerable at this point. We want to look for opportunities in sectors that have lagged the recent strength because there's not going to be the sort of profit taking in those sectors. Gold is stable, allowing well-run gold mining stocks to do well, and I do think that there will be more weakness likely in oil, but nearing the trend line of support, so we should see a bounce in oil soon. Well, that has been the Stockscores Market Minutes for August 15th, 2014. Have a great week in the market and trade well.